coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 p.m.
A terror arrest after a national security raid in Dearborn. What the feds say a local man did and what they found when they went to his home while people were sleeping. Also, White Boy Rick makes his pitch for freedom, what he admitted to today for the first time in just a minute. Here comes Ben, another great day.
Yeah, no complaints today, Devin. We're at 76 now, but we are bracing for the heat this weekend. We'll see how long it lasts when we talk to you next on Local 4 News at 5.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
3 big stories we're following tonight.
Raise your right hand.
First, James Comey testifies on Capitol Hill in one of Washington's most anticipated hearings in decades.
The teenage drug dealer known as White Boy Rick finally gets his day in front of the parole board. But will it be enough to convince them to free him after 29 years behind bars?
But we begin with disturbing new details into a national security raid in Dearborn. Now the feds say they nabbed a man with close ties to terror. Good evening. When federal agents carried out that raid in Dearborn last week, all they would say was that it was connected to a national security investigation.
Now we're learning just how serious it was. Federal prosecutors say Samir Eldebek, the man they took into custody, lived at this home on Jonathan Street. According to their accusations, he's closely linked to Hezbollah and received military training in Lebanon. Jermont Terry live in Dearborn. This is a very extensive set of accusations, Jermont.
You're exactly right, Devin. The Dearborn man stands accused of not only siding with the terrorist organization, but traveling overseas to get extensive military training and then returning here to Dearborn and sending more money back to that terrorist group. And we now know that's what prompted the FBI to raid that house here in this neighborhood last week. Federal agents came to this house on Jonathan Street in Dearborn after arresting Samir Eldebek. The Department of Justice says Eldebek joined forces with the Islamic Jihad organization Hezbollah back in 2007. Federal documents unsealed today revealed the 37-year-old from Metro Detroit traveled to Lebanon numerous times from 2008 until 2014, where Eldebek received training in basic military tactics that includes extensive training as a bomb maker, how to handle explosive devices, and the use of weapons like rocket-propelled grenade launchers. Essentially, the feds say the man who lived on this quiet Dearborn street was deeply rooted in the terrorist group. So connected, Eldebek is accused of traveling the world, cleaning up explosive precursors left behind after a house was under surveillance, and casing and identifying areas of weaknesses that could be future targets for Hezbollah. Neighbors tell us Eldebek recently moved into the house. Many were asleep when the agents swept in last week. They seized computers, cell phones, and other records. Now, the feds say Eldebek spent most of his time living in New York while working for the terrorist group. But once in Metro Detroit, Eldebek is accused of remaining on Hezbollah's payroll and even sending money overseas to help fund and future acts of terrorism. And tonight, Eldebek remains in federal custody in New York City, which is the agency handling this investigation. Reporting live tonight in Dearborn, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
But Jermont, he is not the only one charged, right?
You're exactly right, Devin. There's also a man from the Bronx that has the same charges that Eldebek faces, and they are both arrested and facing these very serious allegations in this ongoing investigation.
All right, Jermont.
It is the most highly anticipated congressional hearing in decades.
For nearly 3 hours, fired FBI Director James Comey told his story, explaining why he felt uncomfortable around President Trump and why he kept detailed notes of those meetings that he later ordered leaked to the press. Blaine Alexander, following a very busy and complex day, he's at the White House. Or she's at the White House. Sorry, Blaine.
Senator Khan.
Well, Comey said after his very first meeting with then President-elect Trump, he just had a gut feeling that he would need these memos later to protect himself and the FBI.
Raise your right hand.
With countless cameras and the world watching, fired FBI Director James Comey explained why he kept detailed notes on meetings with President Trump.
I was honestly concerned that he might lie about the nature of our meeting.
Comey made the stunning revelation he ordered those memos leaked to the press soon after his firing.
So I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
The president's personal attorney claiming victory after Comey confirmed the president himself is not under investigation.
The president never, in form or substance, directed or suggested that Mr. Comey stop investigating anyone.
Comey testified he was not fired because he had lost the confidence of the FBI, as the president claimed.
By saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple. It's my judgment that I was fired because of the Russia investigation.
A focus for Republicans, the president never explicitly told Comey to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn.
I took it as a direction. Right. I mean, this is the President of the United States.
You may have taken it as a direction, but that's not what he said.
Correct.
And regarding the president's tweeted threat, suggesting that their conversations may have been recorded.
I've seen the tweet about tapes. Lordy, I hope they're tapes.
And on Russian hacking, Comey said this is not the end, that Russians are still coming after America and will try again. And the president's personal attorney refuted two specific claims today, saying that the president never asked Comey for loyalty, as Comey had claimed, and that he never asked him to end an investigation into Michael Flynn. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, that's just the start of our coverage. Ahead here at 5:30, Andy Arena, former director of the FBI Detroit office, will join us. He knows James Comey, in fact, worked with him on cases over the years. We'll have Andy's unique perspective on what happened today. Again, that's at 5:30. We've got a complete breakdown of today's testimony at clickondetroit.com. You'll find the link right there in the top stories section.
Now to a critical day in white boy Rick Wershe's fight for freedom. An intense 4-hour parole hearing in Jackson where he did something he's never done before.
At his first parole hearing in 14 years, Wershe admitted to pretty much everything police have accused him of doing. But as he did that, he also said he has been fully rehabilitated after spending now 29 years in prison.
Defender Kevin Dietz traveled to Jackson and was in the room for today's hearing. Kevin, this was a big change of course for him.
It was. When I talked to Rick Wershe, he told me he was going to tell the truth today, and boy did he, admitting to criminal acts that he has been denying for decades. Wershe has always said on the day he was arrested, he never touched any drugs. Now, almost 30 years later, he says it was he who stashed them under a neighbor's porch. In Rick Wershe's favor, federal agents who say Wershe did more to help police bust dirty cops and drug dealers than any other informant in Michigan history.
Rick Wershe played a pivotal role in introducing the undercover agent, which led to the arrest and conviction of a number of corrupt police officers.
I've never seen anybody cooperate like Richard Wershe. I mean, he literally had the safety of undercover agents in the palm of his hand.
Working against Wershe, a lifetime of lying and minimizing his crimes. He always claimed he never hid the 8 kilos of cocaine that police found. Today, he admitted that he did. Wershe told the parole board about raising money from behind bars for poor families in Detroit and promised, if released, to never commit another crime.
I feel positive that they are going to parole Rick, and I'm just going to have to keep my faith until they make that decision.
The Attorney General's office warned the board to be wary of a guy who committed serious drug crimes as a kid and new crimes from behind bars. The whole ordeal leaving Wershe's mother nervous.
He deserves to be out. I've been to visit him many times and had compliments from guards on how good he is. And he needs to get out.
So will Wershe's parole be denied for lying all these years, or will he be rewarded for finally telling the truth? The board will take a vote in early July. There are 10 members on the board. Wershe needs 6 yes votes to be released. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
Kevin, I understand at one point with Wershe, things got pretty heated during the hearing.
Yeah, the attorney for the Attorney General's office accused Wershe of being involved in trying to traffic cocaine from behind bars. Wershe vehemently denied it, and things got heated. They almost had to take a break. We'll talk more about that coming up in an hour.
All right, we'll see you at 6. Thanks, Kevin.
New video from Waterford Township shows the frightening moment when a police officer was hit by a car and fired 8 shots at a suspect.
We got shots fired, right?
34-year-old Tiffany Edwards led police on the chase after she was accused of following a 17-year-old home from CVS. During the chase, she ran over an officer who responded by firing shots at her car. Edwards has been charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, fleeing police, and assaulting an officer, but the officer is expected to make a full recovery. Well, if you didn't get out and enjoy some of today because you were like watching congressional hearings, you missed something. And Mother Nature's getting ready to crank up the heat, so we're not going to see it this perfect for a while.
That's true. It is going to get pretty darn hot, but boy, today was just beautiful out there, Ben.
Yeah, Karen and Devin, I know a lot of the focus is on the weekend, but man, this is really hard to complain about. Temperatures mid-70s out there. We don't have any humidity. The winds have calmed down, and we've seen plenty of sunshine through the day. This is going to continue more or less tomorrow with one exception, and we'll get to that in a second, but gorgeous evening tonight. Sliding into the 60s, mostly sunny skies until the sun goes down. And we will be talking about our one chance of thunderstorms until the middle of next week. That arrives tomorrow. And of course, just how hot we're going to get over the weekend. We'll look at your heat wave in detail coming up in a few minutes, guys.
Police are searching for a third person believed to be involved with a burglary in Redford. It happened near the Western Golf Course in the area of Beach Daly and Ross. 2 suspects have already been arrested. Police believe the third may still be in the area. If you have information, contact Redford Police.
It's a cutting-edge test that could help allergy sufferers in a really big way.
Ahead of Good Health, how something called component testing could finally help people get relief.
And this local man making national headlines for something he did at a restaurant in Pittsburgh. What went so wrong with his meal that it led to him being led away in handcuffs? Sean?
Next, live at 5, neighbors in St. Clair Shores wake up to a shotgun blast. 2 home invaders, a man and the woman, kick in this door. They shoot the man inside with the shotgun. Coming up, we're working our sources. I'll tell you exactly what that man and woman were after.
New at 6.
He's accused of breaking into a Grosse Pointe Woods home and raping a woman with her child just feet away. At 6 o'clock, what we learned in court today and what the suspect's mother is saying about it all.
Plus, a local hotspot for food and drinks is robbed of $25,000. New at 6, how police say this former manager got inside the restaurant and the safe.
In St. Clair Shores, police are searching for a man and woman who they say broke down the back door of a home, ran upstairs, and shot the man living inside.
It happened overnight at an apartment complex on Euclid Street, just off of Jefferson Avenue. Let's get to Sean Lay. He joins us now live with the very latest. Sean, do police have a solid lead on the suspects?
Definitely, they do have a very good lead. More on that in a second. Euclid right here, though, in St. Clair Shores. The lake's right over there. Absolutely quiet street. This family woke up this morning to a shotgun blast coming from the upstairs apartment here. Now, I'm being told by sources that a man and a woman armed with that shotgun, they came here believing that there were drugs and cash in that apartment, and they kicked down the door trying to get at it. Security camera video from a neighbor shows what people woke up to this morning on Euclid, just off of Jefferson and St. Clair Shores. It was a home invasion and a shooting in such a quiet area. Neighbors were shaken out of bed by a shotgun blast.
It's crazy. Not in this area.
It is concerning. Yes, it is.
That's kind of creepy. That's scary.
But at 3:30 this morning, police say a white man along with an African-American woman kicked in the door to this 3-family home, stormed to the apartment upstairs, and first hit a 21-year-old man inside with a shotgun, then fired that gun into his back. He survived. Police are on the hunt right now for the shotgun couple.
We do have several good leads we're all working on, but we do not have anyone in custody at this time.
The victim was able to run to the front and get his neighbor to call 911. The key question is, was this random, or does that victim know his attackers?
Too early to speculate on that at this point.
Okay. Local 4 has learned that that victim is talking to police and has told investigators that he says he vaguely does know who attacked him.
It's a shock, you know. Nothing like that has ever happened around here, ever.
This is very, very unusual for the city of St. Clair Shores.
Back here live, I can tell you tonight, sources telling me they do not believe this was random at all, but right now they're still looking for that man and woman who had that shotgun. Karen, Devin, back to you.
Sean, what do we know about the man who was shot?
We know he's 21. He's been renting here for about 3 months. Neighbors certainly like him. He works in roofing. He does, I'm told by a source, have a medical marijuana card, and that's something the investigators are focusing on. If something related to that brought the people here early this morning.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
What a day, what a day.
It really was pretty picture perfect.
Just about.
Blue skies,
yeah.
sun, not too hot.
Sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce.
And Ben Bailey.
And Ben, yes. yes.
Tomorrow, not so much, and probably not the weekend, depending on how you feel about the heat. But find your shades, find your sunscreen, because you're going to need them coming up. Not necessarily today, although the shades obviously came in handy, but temperatures just perfect out there. Got a little bit warmer than what you're seeing out there currently, but we're at 73 right now, and you can see the beginnings of what is to come. 81 out in Lansing, that's a current temperature, but generally everybody very comfortable. Low humidity out there and plenty of sunshine to go along with it. This is warmer than what we picked up yesterday in most locations. Metro Airport just a degree cooler than what we were at 5 p.m. yesterday, but generally just a 2 to 3 degree raise over what we saw yesterday. So we do have a lot of sunshine out there right now, just a few clouds in some areas, and we'll be seeing more of those clouds tomorrow as showers and thunderstorms start to move in from the west. But so far we don't have any on our side of the lake. We will be seeing some of these start to roll in here as we head into the middle part of tomorrow. That'll be our first round, and then we'll see a second round as we get into the afternoon hours. I don't think we'll see any severe weather, but there could be some rumbles of thunder hanging around as we get into the afternoon. Again, that cold front not crossing through. It's going to rise back to the north and allow the heat to really start building as we head into the upcoming weekend. So temperatures going from right around average to those numbers that are going to be at least touching 90 degrees for 3 days straight starting on Sunday. Now, here's some good news. The humidity is going to stay low. Humidity or dew point levels are generally going to be in the 50s and low 60s until we get into Sunday, and you can start to see where that humidity is really stacking up. This is Saturday afternoon, so we're still relatively dry. Maybe noticeable humidity is what we'll call it, but the muggy stuff's not going to arrive until we get into Sunday. So when we start hitting 90, the humidity's coming along with it. 58 tonight for the overnight lows. We look at those forecast highs tomorrow in our 4-zone forecast. We'll be seeing those numbers very similar to what we saw today, 78 degrees. Downtown, south zone temperatures, couple spots going to hit 80, especially down near the state line, but generally upper 70s for those highs. West zone high temperatures tomorrow, mid to upper 70s is what we're looking at. And our north zone high temperatures tomorrow, low to mid 70s for those highs. Let's look at those 90s in your 7-day forecast. We're going to hit them 3 times. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Humidity's coming along with it. And those morning lows go into the 70s. So once that heat gets here, it is going to be sticking around through most of next week.
Yeah, man. Steamy.
Sweaty.
And we're not used to it yet.
Not yet.
Right. Thank you, Ben. Hank?
Many of your favorite Detroit Lions will be taking over this field this weekend, and they want the fans here. Just by showing up, you'll be doing your part to help Detroiters and dogs in need.
All right, Hank, but first, a driver shot and killed behind the wheel in Ypsilanti. What witnesses say they saw right after they heard the shots. The search for answers is underway in Ypsilanti Township after a man was shot and killed while driving.
The shooting happened just before 3 this morning in front of the Sauk Trail Point Apartments on Michigan Avenue. That's where police say 28-year-old Dominic Lee was driving when he was shot in the head and then crashed in a courtyard. The shooting woke up people throughout the neighborhood. While none of them were hurt, they worried about their children.
It's about the kids, man, you know, like they don't need to, like they'll be waking up pretty soon and they got to wake up to a crime scene.
At this time, it's unclear what led up to that shooting. The suspect is still on the loose. If you know anything, call Ypsilanti Township Police.
A Rochester man is in a Pennsylvania jail on charges he threatened the owner of a restaurant there. 43-year-old Yuba Sharma was arrested in Pittsburgh on Monday after he allegedly threatened to shoot the owner of a restaurant because they accidentally put onions in his food. After calling the police, the owner says Sharma pulled down his pants and exposed himself. He's been charged with making terroristic threats, indecent exposure, as you might expect, and also public drunkenness, and he remains in the Allegheny County Jail. We're following a number of stories from across the state of Michigan tonight.
Let's start on the west side of the state, over in Portage. That is where on Wednesday, police searched the home of a missing high school teacher and returned to search that home again today. 44-year-old Teresa Lockhart was last seen May 18th. Her disappearance was reported 2 days later. Police say Lockhart shared the home with her husband, Chris, who is considered a person of interest in the case. Details about what may have been found were not shared, but police say the teacher's disappearance is now considered a possible homicide investigation.
Now you just need the swipe of a card to cross the Big Mac, the Mackinac Bridge. All of the open lanes that would only take cash now accept credit cards as well. The only way to use a credit card before was you had to pull over and pay in the main office, a hassle. Card readers started going in about 2 weeks ago, but the Bridge Authority didn't announce it until they could be put to the test. And so Memorial Day weekend was really the first test, with 2,200 drivers using their cards with just a few problems to report.
New at 5:30.
On the rise, some very good news on the horizon for boaters on the Great Lakes. Breaking down the Comey testimony, a former FBI co-worker is here to weigh in.
Well, we have a construction zone, yellow tape, and fire trucks.
It's been a circus. And you know what the thing about it is? The circus is going on.
And DTE repair crews, so it must be Grosse Pointe. What's with all of the gas leaks?
It's dinner. Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
Yet another gas leak in Grosse Pointe Woods. For the fourth time in a month, the residents forced to evacuate after a work crew hits a line. It tops our news tonight at 5:30. Important to note here, this time it was a sewer crew that hit a residential line.
Yeah, the other three happened when contractors working for DTE broke the lines while they were working to upgrade the system. Rod Maloney has the story.
While not nearly as dangerous, this gas leak required the same response. Lots of cops, firefighters, and DTE emergency crews. Police Chief John Kasanke answered the obvious question. Isn't this getting a little tiresome? I mean, it's like every other day now there's a gas leak out here.
It's a little tiresome, but you know what? We're in the emergency services business, and this is just one of many things that we deal with.
Maybe it's all in a day's work for them, but for Grosse Pointe Woods residents like Teresa here, did they evacuate you?
Yes.
And what did you do?
Nothing. I came out here and worked around the yard, and then I turned off everything in the house.
She didn't give her last name, but she did give us her thoughts on how tedious the gas leaks and the sewer construction around her house that brought it on have become.
I've kind of like just thrown my hands up in the air and just grinning and bearing it, you know? Yeah. I can't park my car. My car's parked a couple blocks away, and that kind of stuff.
I'm 80 years old. I don't need this crap anymore.
60-year Grosse Pointer Joe Nelson calls it a circus out here, starting with the guys looking for the gas line.
It's a little beeper and go beep, 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 and they mark it. And the beeper sometimes is 5 feet off, and the poor guys that are doing it dig a hole, and we got a great gas leak. So they shut everything down and that. You know, what are you going to do?
And you're probably wondering what it is that DTE has to say about all of this. Well, they're saying that 2 weeks ago they realized they had a problem. So they took all of their contractors from across the state, brought them back in, retrained everybody, and did a reset saying they don't want any more gas leaks out here. And then they resumed that construction this week. But they weren't counting on this, where the construction crews for the sewer line actually broke off this 2-inch line, and it took them 5 hours to get this fixed. But at this point, DTE believes that it has solved whatever problem it had with its own contractor. Back to you.
Well, Rod, I assume the city's got to love this. So what are they saying about all these leaks?
Well, they're doing the best they can. One of the things that happens is, you know, when you put a lot of police officers here on one spot, they can't be patrolling the city. And so what they do is they call in people on overtime. And so in so doing, that's about $10,000 worth of overtime that they're now billing with DTE. And there is discussions back and forth. DTE's already agreed to pay the first one off and the second one, and they're working on the others. And it's likely the contractor in this is going to get billed for the overtime that was put up here this afternoon.
Starts to get expensive. All right, Rod.
Day 4 of the sexual assault trial against Bill Cosby continued today. Cosby is accused of drugging and assaulting Andrea Constand 13 years ago at his home near Philadelphia. Today, prosecutors look to show a pattern of Cosby giving women drugs before sexually assaulting them. The defense claims all the encounters were consensual and that the accuser's statements are inconsistent. The trial continues tomorrow. It's expected to last at least 2 weeks. In Good Health tonight, pinpointing allergies a little more precisely.
Traditional allergy testing can reveal what you're allergic to, but a new type of test may take that information to an entirely new level. Allergy sufferers are familiar with the tried and true skin test, but component allergy testing could give a much more detailed view by analyzing specific molecules or proteins in the blood.
There are a number of different proteins in the peanut that cause allergic response. But there are only 3 of them that cause the really bad anaphylaxis response. So if you test for those, and you test for all the proteins, and you're not allergic to those 3, then you can at least be exposed to peanuts. You know, you can be in a room with peanuts and not have to worry about something terrible happening.
Component testing can also help doctors tailor treatments more effectively. While someone may test positive for 2 different weeds using a skin test, the component test may find one of the weeds is primarily to blame. Another example involves dogs. Dogs have 5 or 6 proteins that cause allergies, but one of them is a prostate protein, which is only found in male dogs.
40% of dog allergic patients, or about 40%, are only allergic to that one protein. If you really want to have a dog and you're allergic to dog, if you test negative for that one, or positive for that one, and for nothing else, you can get a female dog and not have an allergic response.
Component testing has been used selectively by allergy specialists for a few years now, mainly to treat patients with life-threatening allergies, but experts expect it to become more widely used in the years to come.
It seems no one won last night's Powerball, the jackpot, now $435 million. Last night, 4 players matched all 5 white numbers to win $1 million. The winning tickets were sold in California, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and North Carolina. The player in that state played the power play option and won $2 million. Here in Michigan, one player matched 4 white balls and the Powerball to win $50,000. The next chance to win the grand prize is coming up on Saturday night.
So do you say, wow, I won $1 million, or do you lament that you were 1 ball away from
No.
$430 million?
What is it, glass half full? You're like, yeah, $1 million, right? Well, living on Great Lakes shorelines can be a real privilege.
No doubt about it, but it can also become a curse depending on lake levels. Everybody wants them Goldilocks, right? Neither too low nor too high, which is the issue right now for some.
Yeah, and when we go through the seasons, those levels rise and fall pretty much like clockwork, but now they're way up. And according to the Army Corps of Engineers, Great Lakes water levels are now within a foot of their record levels, which were set back in 1986. Just this week, in fact, Lake Ontario has slipped above its record June level. So this means shrinking beach area and an increased flood risk for shoreline properties. The higher levels resulted from mild temperatures and below average ice cover this past winter. The good news is obviously, while water levels typically increase in spring, as we mentioned, they typically drop in the summer. So those levels should recede over the next few months. But even as they drop, because there's so much water out there, they're not going to drop low enough to cause any problems.
All right.
Up and down, just every year. Yep.
Thank you, Ben. Former FBI Director James Comey testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee today. Comey was fired as FBI Director on May 9th. Today, he said his firing didn't make sense and apologized to the American people. He also testified he found nothing linking Russia to tampering with the 2016 election, but he also leaked conversations with President Trump with the hope it would lead to a special counsel regarding Russia.
Elements to today's testimony for us to break down. Andy Arena worked with James Comey during his time at the FBI, and of course the former head of the Detroit FBI office, who joins us now live. And Andy, before I get to a lot of other questions, let me just quickly give you your thumbnail as somebody who spent a career in the FBI. What were your thoughts, your takeaways today?
It was enlightening, to say the least. You know, I'm not saying there was any bombshells, but you know, it was drama television at its best. I think Jim Comey, and you know, I have to preface it by saying I've known him many years, and I certainly like the man. I think he came off as very straightforward and very honest, self-effacing at times. He took the hit for some things that he probably could have done better, but I think he came off as being very honest and straightforward.
It was a little startling to hear him talk about himself as being a leak, that he leaked information through a law professor at Columbia that he wanted to get out into the press, although he argued that it was really to protect the reputation of the Bureau. But that was astonishing, wasn't it?
Well, you know, obviously there's different levels of leaks. You know, when you're talking about classified information, which this was not, I think that's certainly a different level. But it is a little bit disappointing. You know, hey, listen, leaks are what drives Washington. The biggest leakers of them all, he was sitting in front of them today, Congress.
No doubt. On the question of whether or not this was obstruction of justice, I think that most of those people around in Washington argue correctly, even the president's supporters, that those conversations didn't necessarily amount to obstruction of justice. But once he fired him, after Comey didn't really seem to go along, that seems to take it into a new level, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at this in the totality of the circumstances. On its face, those comments, those meetings were highly inappropriate for the President of the United States to be having those comments with the Director of the FBI. On its face, does it constitute obstruction? No. But then when you start looking at the totality of the circumstances, the firing, other people in the room being dismissed and wants to meet with the Director privately, there's some investigation to be done by Bob Mueller.
But Andy, if we were hoping that today would give us an agreed upon set of facts, what I found today in watching the analysis and the breakdown online and on air was it's still an ink blot. People see in it what they want to see. I'm not sure this gives us a whole lot of clarity yet.
No, and Devin, I didn't expect it going in. As I said, to me it was reality TV at its best. Those senators, based on their political affiliation, that's the way they're going to, point their questions. The truth is going to come from the independent counsel, from Bob Mueller. That's where the truth is for the American people is going to come. This was great drama, is what it was.
Well, and that's why some of the more interesting things that I thought Comey had to say today were how often he said, "I need to only tell you that away from public record," in closed-door comments. There was a lot of that, so there is a fair amount of smoke here, isn't there?
Yes, and I think that I worked for Bob Mueller. He is one tough SOB. I mean, he is going to get to the bottom of the truth. Now, being an independent counsel myself, working on the Flint water, you don't want your key witnesses out there talking publicly. So I'm sure Bob Mueller said, hey, limit it to these things and stay away from these other things.
In fact, it was, last question, Andy, it was interesting that he allowed him to testify at all at this point, isn't it?
I was a bit surprised. Knowing Bob Mueller the way I do, I was surprised, but I think that he saw the necessity of getting this at least partially out there. But it was pretty clear. It was very clear. He limited what was going to be getting out.
Andy, we turn to you time and again for your thoughts on these things. I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for being with us. Andy Arena, former head of the Detroit office of the FBI. Sandra, back to you.
Coming up, it is a house built to observe something that'll only last 15 minutes. Coming up new here at 5:30. How 40 years of planning went into this place right here, and how the one thing they can't control that could completely ruin it. Also, how does something like this happen? New tonight, police baffled after an SUV flies right into a house.
Many Detroit Lions focusing on softball instead of football, but just for one day. And as you'll see, it is for a great cause. All the information coming up.
Jeopardy!